I'm going to demonstrate the process of making wine cocktail tube set. The making is relatively simple because its structure is not complicated. Let's take it down and have a look. Now you can see that it is a T shape on one side, and it is Y-shaped only when it is installed on the slingshot. Each side of it consists of a horizontal and a vertical tube. Next, let's remake such a compound tube set. The thickness of the tube is determined by your own needs. If you launch a big steel ball, use thick tubes such as 2050 or 2055. And if you shoot with steel balls of 8 mm or smaller, you can use 1745, 1842, etc. Personally, I most use 1745 and 1842. This tube should be 1745. Let's use it to demonstrate making. We need to determine the length of the front segment and the rear segment. I cut the front segment at a length of 10 centimeters, a bit longer or shorter doesn't matter. Now we cut out two 10 centimeters length of tube as front segments. Let's take a look at the rear segment. Its active length is 9.5 centimeters, so it should be cut at least 11.5 centimeters. In fact, these lengths are just for reference, and you need to decide the exact values according to your own situation. Next, mark the joint spots of the two segments before tying them up. Mark the middle spot of the front segment. Fold the tube in half and you can easily find the midpoint. Mark the top of the rear segment, leaving a length of about 1.5 centimeters. Then we do the tying. Overlap the two spots and leave room for tying on the rear segment. Clamp the tube with a forceps. Please note that the forceps should have a protective cover to prevent damage to the tube. Same thing on the other side. Then place the tube set on the tying assistant. Tying with amber belt. 6 laps or more. 6、7、8、6圈就够了啊。Then make a knot. Cut. 这个是一边捆扎好了啊。This side is done, and then repeat on the other side. Trim away the excess. Don't trim too much to prevent the knots from loosening.
这个绳结容易散开啊，这样2个就好了，对吧？啊，看一下，然后
Next, trim the two rear segments to make sure they are the same length. This section is a little longer, so cut it off a little.
好了，2端一样长，好。
Then tie them on the pouch. We recommend this quality pouch with no slip straps, which you can get from GZK website.
你可以在我的网站上买到这个皮斗，
Pull the tube through the hole.
扎进去，这边也给它插进去。
And adjust the position to ensure a balance between the two sides. The length reserved on both sides should be the same. Then tie them up. Also tie up 6 or more laps. Repeat on the other side and then trim away the excess. Now the tube set is almost complete. Next, stuff the beads. The commonly used beads are steel balls with diameter of 4.5 millimeters. There are also some slingshots that require 4 millimeters or 5 millimeters beads, but the 4.5 millimeters bead is still the most versatile. Adjust the 4 beads to make sure they are in the same position from the middle point of the front segment. Now let's attach the tube set to the slingshot. Put the 4 pieces of tube in.
装的时候先不要直接装啊，先把它放进去啊。啊，这边也一样，给它放进去。好，然后调整一下位置啊，差不多在中间位置，然后
Make a pre-pull. The next step is critical. Stretch the 2 ends of the bead and then drag the tube with bead into the hole. Repeat such operation.
不要直接拉啊，这样不然吃不住啊，拉开拉长给它拉进去，拉开拉长。好了，这样。
Okay, the Y cocktail is done. What needs to be emphasized is that you have to test and determine the thickness and the length of the tube that suits you, as well as the ratio of the front segment to the rear segment. As for the advantages of Y cocktail tube set, I've talked about it before. The initial speed of this cocktail is faster than that of either double or a single tube. At the same time, it has a long service life and is not easy to break. You should have it a go. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm GZK.